Hi everyone, welcome to Spotlight. We are having a very lovely chat here with Danny Carroll. I met Danny a few months ago. He has some amazing music, and I'm so proud and honored that he's doing another solo show coming up on March 29th. And Danny, why is March 29th so special?
Because it's World Piano Day.
And I did not know that.
It's the 88th day of the year. If you count from January 1st, you end up on March 29th. Oh, and the reason, see, there's 88 keys on the piano.
Brilliant.
Yes.
I would assume that it might be your idea, but
No.
not quite. Okay.
No.
How did this all begin?
Nils Fromm is a musician in Germany, and he's into the neoclassical and also electronics, and he's just a brilliant musician. Wonderful stuff. I saw him a couple of years ago in Toronto, and I think that's where I found out about World Piano Day. And he started it. He started it 10 years ago.
And why do something like that?
The idea is to just make people aware that this is such a beautiful instrument, you know, to be able to, if you're looking to get into some music, the piano is available to just give you so many different ways of it's like an orchestra, you know, and it's got a beautiful sound. There is, it's used a lot for writing, for composing, and especially for like orchestrations. You know, composers would sit at this and do this. You could play anything and convert it to the instruments that you're going to put it on. It's just a great sound, and it's just so much fun to play, and it's everywhere now. Pianos are everywhere.
I know. You were saying you can't name, one song that doesn't have a keyboard in it.
Something.
Or a piano.
Yes.
Now, we are sitting in the beautiful sanctuary of the Fort Garry United Church, which is going to be the location for your new show. Yes. Let's talk about the new music, because it is not classical, old classical, Bach, Beethoven,
no.
Haydn, Schubert. This is neoclassic.
Yes.
So maybe just for the beginners, give us an overlay or overlook on what neoclassical music today
is. The original neoclassical was like about in the 1920s, 1930s. And that was like almost a revolt to some of the impressionistic and some of the really high, fiery, powered music that was coming out that didn't have as much structure as people were used to from the classical and the Romantic era. And so they started to write new music, but in these forms, like sonata forms and symphonic forms, and very melodic and that kind of, but different, with the different theories of, like musical theories of the age. Now, artists have taken that back, the idea of neoclassical, but they're using it in different ways where it's not so tied into those same structures, but the sound is like thinned out. And if you can call it, if you think of like chill piano, where there's some nice, chordal stuff going on, there may be some strings involved with it, so it gives it that sort of classical kind of sound. But there's a lot of electronics used in it too, mostly kind of gentle sort of stuff. It's more flowing, and it's just usually a relaxing, kind of music. Not always. There's up tempo. But that it's growing and growing. You have heard it, but you probably don't know. But just about every film that you listen to now, where you hear these smooth, quiet things, you could call that like neoclassical, or where you hear just the little pianos underneath, in this very, very sort of spacey kind of thing. That would be neoclassical. It's all over Netflix, it's all over movies, and all the time in television shows.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this new show that people are going to come see on March 29th, what can they expect this time from Danny Carroll? I'm
going to do a couple of tunes from my album where we met, Keys for Transformation. And I have some tracks because we had live strings recorded. So I'm going to do a couple of those tracks, a couple of my favorites from there. And then I have a lot of new material, solo piano material, which is, I would call it more of that neoclassical, more sort of gentle, kind of floating, and but some of it can also be a little bit of patterns going on, a little faster, but still carrying on that idea of flow. And I love creating that kind of music. I sit down at the piano and just get ideas and just sort of play with these gentle ideas. And I just love the feel of it and the sound of that. So I'm going to be doing some of that. And a couple of electronic things too.
Well, of course.
I wanted to do a little bit.
Just to get people moving again.
Exactly, exactly.
So I read up a little bit more about you and your past, and it is so full. The things that you have done, the achievements, and currently just being honored by Rainbow Stage. I'm thinking now, what is the difference from the music that you played or still play from that part in your life to the music right now that you're doing, the transformative, the neoclassical music? What kind of changes have you noticed in yourself personally?
A lot of the work that I've done has been for other projects. And like for Rainbow Stage, is all musicals, so there you go. I can't sit and improvise through the show.
We'd be in trouble.
That's the other thing that I bring into every piece that I do, is the improvisation. And one thing, when I was doing like soundtracks for theaters, there was a lot of times where I could create something that was like, if I go with my intuition and my gut, I would create these like more floating kind of things for specific shows, and I loved doing that. But I did, I played at the Fort Garry Hotel I was one of the regular guys there for 18 years, people there. It was standards and jazz, and I love doing that. So you'll hear little bits of jazz in some of my pieces that I do, but it's all my original music now, and it's just floating from there's sometimes little touches of musical, little touch of soundscapes, little touch of jazz, but I'm sort of pulling all those things together, and I'm starting to do the kind of thing that I'd like to do when I grow up.
Wow, well, we can hardly wait till you grow up, Danny. But what is the biggest gift of all that you want to give people when they listen to your music?
Is my intent with the music is that this music that I'm sharing that comes from my heart may help people to connect with their hearts. That's really kind of it. I truly believe that we are here to discover our gifts and our talents, and then to utilize those in whatever ways they are to help to bring more love into the world. And that's what we need right now.
We certainly do.
Yeah.
And your gift will be Danny Carroll solo concert celebrating World Piano Day. It is on March 29th right here at the beautiful Fort Garry United Church. For more information, where can they go, Danny?
You go to my website, dannycarroll.ca.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And a happy early World Piano Day to you.
Thank you very much. 88 bows.
Oh, 88 bows.
Yeah.
And before you do the 88th, you can set up the beautiful piece that you're going to play for us.
Yes. This piece is called Above the Clouds. And the idea of it is, it starts off very, very gently, and then it moves into just some, this is kind of a neoclassical thing too, where you have like sort of a chord repeating pattern. If you look at some of these chords, it's like rock and roll stuff. There's like 3-4 chords, okay? But it's done in different ways. And so this piece builds with those chords. I'm trying to, the reflection in the music that got me going on this was the idea of things are building up. Like, what's happening here? And remember now, when we go above the clouds, there's sunshine. It's always there. It's always there. And so it moves into this other little section, which is one of my favorite sections of any of my pieces. And for me, that's where the clouds open and we're above there like that. So yeah, above the clouds, helping us to lift our energy,